PL.
Shout out to PL.
Just wrapped the West Coast offense.
Not easy to do.
Fantastic job.
Throwdown round kicks off in Santa Clara. Those 49ers you just saw welcoming the Vikings to town. Kirk Cousins silenced many of his critics on Sunday with that epic overtime win in the Superdome. And that effort earned Cousins and company a trip to San Francisco facing those Niners. For more on the Vikings side of things, how they're feeling going into this matchup, here's Tom Pelissero.
Thanks, Kay. Kirk Cousins got a game ball after his first playoff win on Sunday. I just felt like it was time, Vikings coach Mike Zimmer said, to tell a lot of people he's our guy, and he did it. Now, can Cousins and the Vikings do it again on Saturday against the top-seeded 49ers? On a short week, Zimmer said they'll have to closely monitor players' workload to keep their bodies fresh. And the Vikings are also aware of the emotional toll that can be taken by a walk-off postseason win, having beaten those same Saints 2 years ago in the Minneapolis Miracle game and then gotten blown out the following week by the Eagles. Amidst the post-game celebration, veteran safety Harrison Smith walked around imploring teammates, everyone calm down. Wide receiver Adam Thielen told me that was also a topic in the locker room, that the preparation for San Francisco needed to start on the plane ride home. Back to you, Kay.
Appreciate you, Tom. Just to add to that, Viking safety Harrison Smith has played in 5 career playoff games. He knows how difficult it is to win and keep winning. So we even heard that he was trying to calm the team down along with Mike Zimmer after their wild card win and shift focus solely on San Francisco. Nate, player standpoint here, how difficult is that to go from such a high, winning a playoff game, not just any playoff game, taking down Drew Brees and company among all doubters to get ready and take on your next opponent?
It's tough, man. I remember in 2004 with the Vikings, and I've talked about this a ton on this show. We faced the Packers twice in the season. We lose to them, and then we get them in the wild card game, and we beat the brakes off them, Kay. And they couldn't match our energy in Lambeau. And I remember in that locker room, it was a celebration like no other. And even me, for a young player, I thought, this is weird. Like, we're celebrating a little too hard. Not that we didn't expect to win, but I was thinking to myself, how are we going to muster up the energy to go play our next opponent? And then we go face McNabb and T.O. in Philly, of all places. And that's prime T.O. getting busy, and we lose to them in a very close game. And you can almost feel us being drained as the game went on. And then you fast forward a couple of years with the Seahawks. We beat the Cowboys. Y'all remember the Tony Romo bobble of the ball?
Sure, yeah, Grammatica.
And we go crazy. We're like, all right, cool. Let's move this thing along. We go to Chicago. And we lose to the Urlacher-led Bears. It's Hester and us sitting there, and I feel it again. We take it down to the wire. All we needed was a 4th and 1. We hand the ball to Sean Alexander, and we couldn't get it. We got stuffed, and I'm thinking to ourselves, we're not going to win this game. And we go again 2007. The next year we're in the playoffs.
It's relentless.
We beat the Redskins at home in Seattle. Okay, we got this. This is my opportunity. I know for sure at this point, there's not too many chances you get an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. All right, we're going to do it. And then we go face Brett Favre in Lambeau. Tough deal. We lose to them. I'm like, all right, well, I'm probably not going to make the playoffs again. I go play for the Lions. We're basically climbing ourselves up out of the gutter. 2 years removed from an 0-16 season. We make the playoffs in 2011. I'm like, holy smokes. I'm in the playoffs again with the Lions? Where do we got to go? Face Drew Brees in New Orleans in the Dome. And we couldn't stay in it a half, okay? We got through 2 quarters, and by the 3rd quarter came, we were dealing with the voodoo and dealing with the greatness of Drew Brees.
So what did you learn, or what did you do that week leading into that game to sort of keep yourself calm, to not get too high from the wins, to, like, what advice would you give this squad?
It's tough because the guys that haven't been there don't know how to handle it. I don't care how many books you read, how many OGs in the locker room, how many vets tell you how to deal with it. It's the teams that have been there before. Those are the guys that are going to know how to handle it, because 3rd and 4th quarter, when you start to drift and your mind starts to go away from the game and your body starts hurting, the vets, they know how to stay focused.
I followed 2 different teams very closely as a reporter and was like embedded with those teams. The 07 Giants, who went to Tampa and then had to go on the road to Dallas, then had to go on the road to Green Bay, and then won and beat the Patriots. It could be done. And then I also did the Ravens a couple of years back when it was, okay, we're going to beat the Colts at home, but now you got to go to New England. You know, you got to beat Denver first, then you got to go to New England. It happens. You get magic, and you start feeling and believing. You look around and say, okay, we can do this. Why not us? Why not us? That win against New Orleans, you cannot underestimate enough what it did for the confidence in that locker room and for the confidence in that quarterback, that he knows, wait a second, Jimmy Garoppolo, I can roll with that guy.
And I look at them going to San Francisco. I felt this for a long time. I know it sounds like a hot take. I feel like buys are kind of overrated because you get a week off, fine, but like your reward is your next game is playing against a team that just came off an incredible season-changing, sometimes life-changing win with all the momentum. A friend of mine, Jim Miller, who was the quarterback for Chicago Bears, they had a bye in 2001, a 13-3 season. You sit around, okay, maybe you get healthy, but like you can get lackadaisical too, and you're getting a team with a head of steam coming into your building. You get knocked off all the time. San Francisco's never been here before. They just had a second bye. They don't know how to deal with it. That's why I think sometimes wild card teams go on these runs, because they just get going and they don't stop. Minnesota's going to come in there. I got good feelings about this game.
More on this one, more on the other 3 games in the divisional round. But we've got Will Selva out in the newsroom in Culver with more news and headlines to keep your eyes on.
Absolutely. What's going on there, Kay and fellas? Well, it's all coming up. Skittles and Beastquakes for the Seahawks. The Marshawn Lynch signing proving to be a shrewd one, instantly boosting the offense and providing much-needed depth in that backfield. And there's plenty more where that came from following the win over the Eagles on Sunday. After a rushing touchdown in the victory, Lynch now has 10 in his postseason career, good for 8th in playoff history. Head coach Pete Carroll telling 720 ESPN Seattle we'll be seeing more of Lynch against the Packers.
Yeah, I think he's doing great. I mean, I'm really excited about it. I want to see him do more, and so I think we can increase his role and allow him to be a little bit more active part of it. He does bring an element that we love, and that's that style and that toughness. And we saw it on the sidelines when he was, when he's dumping guys, out of bounds, and we saw it on the goal line when he's smacking in the end zone after getting hit on about that 3 or 4. He still finished it off. But he's got all of those elements that we love. So I think we'll see more of him in the next couple of weeks here.
That's Carol from 710 ESPN Seattle. More of beast mode, and how about any of Texans wide receiver Will Fuller? Well, Fuller's status against the Chiefs remains in limbo as he recovers from a groin injury. Head coach Bill O'Brien says Fuller is making progress, but stopped short of saying he's actually playing. The Jaguars QB Gardner Minshew ready for an off-season adventure. He announced on Instagram saying he's bought an RV and is taking a coast-to-coast road trip. He says he's taking a step back to recenter himself and touring the country. And he implored fans between Jacksonville, L.A. for places to see, food to eat, and people to meet. And I'm all in for a roadie with Gardner. Bring on the jorts. Bring on the headbands. Don't bring the jock straps. Either way, come. You're welcome. Let's hang out. Let's talk Gardner.
If you need a place to stop in Chicago, Basha can whip up some pierogi and hook you up, give you a nice place to stay.
If we get to the Super Bowl, maybe if we get to the top. Hey! Look at that man! Look at Damien with the tilt. Nate, your take.
Hey, listen, he got that crown tilt to the side like T.I.'s hat. I see you, Damien. See, that's how you swag it out a little. He might wear that to the club.
I like that look.
This is the club crown right here.
Yes, the club crown, yeah.
This is the crown that's a little royal. The beard, the sweat, the hoodie. This is one of my favorite picks.
That's the Mona Lisa, dude.
How good is this, right?
Fantastic.
It is the Mona Lisa. You don't know which way he's looking. Is he happy? If you're over here, it's a totally different picture. Da Vinci, eat your heart out. Andy Reid's masterpiece wears the crown. Let's put him in the ring of anger. Let's just put him in all. Let's open up our Case Logic and all our angry CDs. Look at it now. There's so many guys who are still alive. Of course, we have our Ravens wing over here. Hayden Hurst, Project Pat Ricard, Ingram the OG, Aaron Jones, big game this weekend. Then, of course, Damian Williams over here. Duke Johnson, very much alive in Houston. Then we got the Crazy Titans and Kittle. We got them all.
Ingram's photo is the best.
Ingram's photo is fantastic. He's the godfather of this segment. But if there's one other guy who could be just as responsible as him, it's number 24 in Seattle, guys. Marshawn is back. He is bad, and he's gratuitous. I don't even know at the end of this play if he needed to do this. It's a nice catch. It's out of bounds. And watch at the very end, just a little extra credit on Avonte Maddox. And look at the sideline. Look at this. He's going out of bounds here. He's not lowering the show, but just get the hell off me. Avonte Maddox tries to jump up and be cool, which I respect, but oh my God, he got punched out like Greg Maddox back in the 90s, or Maddox. Doesn't Brangelina have one of those kids named Maddox somewhere too, don't they? We love you, Maddox, wherever you are, but this Maddox did not go well. Watch the Seattle sideline too. There's always 54. So much. Look at 54. Yeah! What's up here? 64. Who is that? Who's 64 on the Seahawks? He's epic. So Marshawn, and he kind of a little look down. He's a master, never too much. Marshawn, we love you. Next. Sean Watson had a day. We saw the double spin and all that, but what I loved was here. At the 20-yard line, he's like, I am scoring. I don't care. Ronnie Lott is back there. I'm scoring. It's playoff time. Could I flip? Could I lower the shoulder? No. The extra. I don't even know what this is.
I like it.
What is it, snowshoes? What's going on here? It's incredible. Looks like one of those guys named Magnus pulling a truck on ESPN2.
I like it.
Oh.